Okay, in this little tutorial here, I'm just going to work some more homework problems, and I'm on page 368 of the Schneider text, and I'm just going to do one of the real simple exercises, and I'm going to work on exercise 54. So I've initiated the IDLE Integrated Development Environment, IDE as it's known. Excuse me. And I'm going to open up a new file. I've done here. It doesn't have a title to it, isn't saved. First thing I'm going to do is save it. Reset so you can see it. Use the save as. Again, I'm putting mine on my desktop, lots of different places where you can store them. My organization folder for this semester, and then I have a folder for this class, and I got all my code over here. And so now we're doing, what is it? Let's get up close one, exercise 54.py. All right. So put a comment in here, and you guys have a little template where I'm having you put in your name, the class, and then whatever the assignment is. And so I'm just working right now on page 368. I'm going to do exercise number 54. All right, and this one says, request a company's annual revenue and expenses as input, and then display the company's net revenue, which is revenue minus expenses. All right, so expenses. Actually, we'll enter revenue first. All right, we'll use input. So let's say revenue. Actually, I'm just going to use R. Input statement. Say enter revenue. Okay. Let's make a little note here as I'm going through this. Now, what will take place by default, we talked about different data types, and we said there's three different data types that we're working with in Python. One is integer data, which are negative and positive whole numbers. The second is floating point, which are decimal numbers. And then the third are strings, okay, which are character strings, or string literals, as we call them. Now, by default, this is going to be a string literal. Okay, why is that? Well, it's just the way it is. And so what we want to do is take whatever that is. Now I'm going to convert it to a floating point. And I could just take whatever results from this input statement, and I'm going to say, all right, take that and then put it through the float function. And then now R will be a floating point value, which is really important if we're figuring revenues, which are dollars and cents. All right. My expenses, I'm going to use the letter E. And again, I'll have to do the same thing. So I'll say, here's my floating function, my floating point function, and then take whatever is in input. I'll say enter expenses. All right. And then I need to figure my net. I'll use the term net for that. Is going to be, well, I don't need to convert these or float because they're already float. So net will be by default a floating point as well. So we take revenue minus expenses. Now we want to put that back up to the screen. So I'll use my print statement. I'm going to print a couple things. I'm going to print an expression that provides some detail. So I'll say net income okay, there's a string literal, and now I'm going to go ahead and use the variable net, and we're looking to print out what's inside net, right? Let's run this. Control S is save. F5 runs it. So I enter my revenue. We'll do something really easy here. So I'm going to say I got $100 revenue, and I have $25 in expenses. And so my net income is 75. Okay? That's pretty straightforward. Let's expand on this a little bit. One of the things I'd like to do is, I'm going to flip through my textbook quickly. So we'll try to make this a little more interesting, and I'm looking on page 365 at table 4 here. So I'll go back to my source code, and one of the things that I want to do here is we'll have it display as dollars and cents, all right? So what I need to do is change the way my information is formatted. We're going to do so as follows. We're going to use the dot format command, and then we're going to go ahead and put that formatting as we'd like to see it done. So I'm looking through this table here and I'm trying to find their examples, and I'm interested, and this is the fourth line in this table, I'm interested in doing, I want dollars and cents, so I'm going to have two decimal points, or two values after my decimal point, and then I want commas in it as well. All right, and so that kind of shows me there how to do decimal points and columns. So I'll follow their example. So I'm going to say quotation marks, and then a set notation, and then a 0, and then a 10, and then a comma, and then a 0.2, and then an F. Okay? So it allows me to put commas in there. And I'll say dot format net. All right? Let's see what that does for us now. So save, F5. My revenue, I'll say, is 1,000, I make it 10,025 cents. My net expenses are 1,125.76. And there's my net income, 8,874.49. Right? Now, the only thing missing here is I don't have a dollar sign on this. And then the other thing I don't like, I'm going to start nitpicking here a little bit, is I'd like to have a space in there. So let's make sure we get a space in there. We'll see if we can clean up our output a little bit, because that's one of the objectives here, is to have nice, clean output. Okay, so I want to say net income, colon, space, dollar sign. Let's save it and let's run it. Use the same numbers again. 10,025, 1,125.76. Okay, a little bit better there. All right, one last thing I'll point out. Seems a little confusing. Put this up here. So for whatever reason, in my code, if I'm going to get this on the same screen there, I have a 0:10. What does that 10 stand for? The 0.2 makes sense to me because we want 2 decimal points. But what's the 10 stand for? One of the ways I can learn about this is by changing the 10. Let's change it to 7 and see what happens. So I'll save, I'll run. We'll type in exactly the same numbers. And we'll just look real closely here. You see how this space is less than this space? So when we use the value 10, that gives us 10 total, oops, let me grab that here. That gives us 10 total character spaces in that particular entry. Here I've shortened that up so there's 7, and we can actually count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I must not count the decimal point there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can see the 7th is just this blank space here. All right.